Have called on their citizens to get out of Ukraine soon as warnings of a possible Russian invasion ramp up. NATO allies believe Russia could launch an attack on Ukraine any day before the end of the Olympics.
Russia has consistently denied planning an invasion, despite more than 100,000 troops stationed on the border. The White House has warned the attack could begin with an air attack on the capital, Kiev. Well, our North American correspondent, Jade McMillan, joins us now from Washington with more. Jade, what's changed in the past day to prompt these really strong warnings?
Well, the US has been warning for some time now that Russia could invade Ukraine at any moment. It's been watching with increasing concern as more than 100,000 Russian troops gathered near the Ukrainian border. The US also sounding the alarm over the movement of soldiers and equipment into neighbouring Belarus. But rounds and rounds of high-level diplomatic talks have failed to make any real progress here. And in the past 24 hours, the US has issued a new warning urging its citizens to leave Ukraine as quickly as possible. The US President Joe Biden has said that in his view things could get crazy quickly, and now the White House is warning that Russia in its assessment has all of the resources it needs to launch what it describes as a major military action, and it's warning that that could happen before the end of the Winter Olympics in Beijing on February 20th. Now, National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan today insisted that at this stage the US does not have any intelligence suggesting that Russian President Vladimir Putin has made a final decision either way. But he's outlined the US fears of how an attack could unfold in trying to convince Americans in Ukraine to get out as soon as they can.
If a Russian attack on Ukraine proceeds, it is likely to begin with aerial bombing and missile attacks that could obviously kill civilians without regard to their nationality. A subsequent ground invasion would involve the onslaught of a massive force. With virtually no notice, communications to arrange a departure could be severed and commercial transit halted. No one would be able to count on air or rail or road departures once military action got underway. Now, again, I'm not standing here and saying what is going to happen or not happen. I'm only standing here to say that the risk is now high enough and the threat is immediate enough that prudence demands that it is the time to leave now.
Jade, that is quite a serious warning there from Washington. But if there was an attack from Russia into Ukraine, what would it look like?
Well, I think you've just heard from Jake Sullivan there outlining what it could look like. As he said, it's difficult to predict exactly how that would unfold. And as I said, he really stressed today, rejecting some media reports that the US does believe that Vladimir Putin has made a decision either way here. The US, publicly at least, is still insisting that it is hopeful that there is a diplomatic path forward. Those frantic efforts are still ongoing. US President Joe Biden has had a conversation today with transatlantic leaders, including the leaders of the UK, France and Germany. NATO Secretary General was also on that call. And the White House flagged today that it does expect that Joe Biden and Vladimir Putin will also speak in the not too distant future, although they did not provide any details as to when that might occur. Now, Russia still denies that it's planning an invasion, but the US and its allies have really been warning for some time now that if an attack does occur, the consequences, especially the economic consequences to Russia, would be unprecedented. And it's continued to deliver those warnings again today in the hope that it could deter an invasion of Ukraine.